What's up, gang? Johnson Signature Group, Exit Platinum Realty, and we are back again with my guy, Joseph Falla. Joseph, reintroduce yourself, man, one more time.
Hey everybody, I said John Johnson. Joseph Falla from Joe Does Mortgages, your friendly local loan officer, specializing here in the New Jersey market and abroad.
There we go. There we go. So, Joe, I'm hearing a lot about the other Joe passing this
The
whole,
first Joe.
yeah, the first Joe, Sleepy Joe, however way you want to refer to him. He wants to forgive some loans, some student loans, $10,000 here, and there might be some guidelines here or there, what have you. But bottom line is, a lot of people looking to buy homes have student loans, and some have paid them off, some are still paying, some are still in forbearance right now. Can you give us some kind of insight as to the impact that student loans have on a home buyer trying to buy a mortgage?
Absolutely. Yeah, one of the main comments that he put in there is that these student loans are holding people back from the ability to purchase a home. There's a lot of information out there. I get all my information right from the guidelines. I don't, I'm not Googling Wall Street Journal. I'm not Googling local bank. I go right to the guidelines, and the guidelines is where you want to get the best. Is where you're going to get the best information from. And again, he mentioned. I think it was the second thing they mentioned that the forgiveness is gonna help with the affordability of purchasing home. So that's why I wanted to do this video with you and give some great information. Um, and if you like, I can show you exactly, give you some answers to what you're looking for.
Show me the money, man.
So I have my friendly calculator, my friendly affordability calculator that I always
Okay.
have here, right? So I'm
Okay.
going to ask for some participation from the audience this time. So, give me an annual income. What do you think? I know the average income for New Jersey for a household is about $80,000 to $85,000, I believe. So give me a
Okay.
number of where you think a household of two would be making in northern New Jersey, South New Jersey, Central New Jersey, West New Jersey.
Great, great, great. So we cover the whole state, but I'd say let's go with that $85,000
Eighty-five
annual
thousand it is.
income for
So we'll put
a couple of
eighty-five
kids.
thousand for the annual interest rate. Um, what I where I get my where I like to show my clients where they can actually go to get interest rates from is from a website called Mortgage News Daily. So they
Mortgage
act
News Daily.
Mortgage News Daily. So,
Okay.
and if you give me a second here, it's a very good, informative website.
Okay.
Um, that you can get information about rates and where the industry is going and all
Okay.
types of great information. So if you guys ever go there, if you give me a second here, I'll pull it up. You actually just go right to the main page and you just go to mortgage rates right here. What we're going to pull up is an FHA, and it gives you now, just as a disclaimer, this is an average, right? We're looking at what they're doing is they're taking, rates from hundreds of different banks, and they're giving you what they feel where the market is. It's not exactly what you may get. It's all based off credit and all types of other information. It varies from client to client, but what we
Okay.
have here is that they're at a 5.3. So the market was a bit in the red today. So we'll use 5.3 as an interest rate.
Okay.
Okay. So length of loan is 30 years. We're looking at an FHA loan. So we're going to put 3.5% down.
Yep.
Um, give me a
Yes.
second here. So, um, annual income down payment. You know what? We'll do that at the end, actually. Property taxes. Where do you want to be with the property taxes? What part
Um,
of Jersey we're going to be?
Give me central and parts of northern New Jersey. Just do 10,000.
10,000. All right.
Yeah.
Homeowners insurance will use an average number of about $1,000 for a single family home.
Okay.
All right. DTI tolerance. I'll go over that in just a moment. For the down payment, I'm going to use this number right here, and it'll make sense in just a moment. Give me a second here. Get my nice calculator. All right. So we're looking at $14,000 in down payment, not closing costs, just down payment.
And what are we basing that 14,000?
I'm going to use that off a $400,000 purchase.
Okay.
You'll see this going to make sense at the end, right?
Okay.
So as you see, I've left the monthly obligations empty, right?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to use some numbers here in a calculator that I have. All right. So what we're looking to figure out here is how much you can afford based off your current debt and your student loans. All right. So let's say how much would a Honda Accord 2022 fully equipped, that beautiful red trim?
Well, no, Joe, no.
No,
People went crazy. People went crazy during COVID.
Oh, really? What happened? I wasn't aware.
They then went, to the extreme. So now people are driving what? They're driving the Acuras. They're driving the Lexuses.
Okay.
So those monthly payments, sad to say, are like $600, man.
$600. Wow.
You see how the used car market skyrocketed, dude.
I had an Acura once. The best thing that ever happened to me is when I got rid of it.
Oh. I hope it wasn't an Acura Legend, because those, I swear, were the best cars ever.
Oh, no. You're talking back in the 90s. No, I'm talking about like a 2007 MDX truck.
Oh, man.
It wasn't the Legend. I think my uncle had a Legend.
Okay.
I was still in high school. I was working at Kmart. I couldn't afford a Legend. I had the Honda Accord with the LX model. So you're saying on average, a nice vehicle that's going to get you to and from work and still be classy enough when you take out the wife, the girlfriend out to dinner is going to be about $600 a month, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I got revolving credit, right? So these are going to be your credit cards, right? Let's not make it one. Let's make it a fair number. So 2 credit cards. You know what? We're going to put it here. Actually, I'm sorry. We're going to put $600 here. Let's say that car finance, that Acura is got to be at least $45,000, right? You just got it a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So give me two for yourself, like 2 credit cards. Like, what are their balances right now?
So
add them up for me.
Let's see. Let's do. You know what? Let's do 8,000. Let's say
$8,000.
About 8,000.
Now, the very important part is, right, because we don't use the actual amount of the balance. We actually use the monthly payment, the minimum monthly payment. So what are the minimum monthly payments for both of those cards combined?
Oh, you know how these creditors are, man. They try to get you. You'll never, ever pay it
variable. I believe it's variable. I think they adjust it from month to month depending on the market.
Let's say let's throw $200.
$200 between the 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then our favorite topic, federal student loans, right? So this is what we're here. These are the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about tonight. So give me a number. Let's go with 3 different student loan debts, right? Give me the first one. How much is that first loan?
That first loan, we're gonna do. Let's see, that's the big boy, right? That's the big.
Yeah, the big boy.
That's how
the one that got you that high-paying job. That's gonna get you this house.
Let's do 40,000.
40,000 for the first loan. What's your second loan? What's the balance of your second loan?
Second loan, let's see. Let's do 20,000.
20,000. Throwing some real good figures out there. And what's that third? What's that little loan? That studies that you're probably not gonna ever use in life.
Those are those emergency loans, and some of y'all know what I'm talking about emergency loans, because y'all didn't.
I went right from high school to Walmart. I'm Kmart. Sorry, I can't. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Some folks I went to college with, they know what the emergency loans was for. But anyway,
loans. Okay.
Let's do 3,000.
3,000. That's the emergency loan, right?
Right.
All right. So this is what we do. We don't actually use the entire figure, okay? When we're qualifying you for your DTI, basically, your DTI, it varies from bank to bank. Some banks won't let you go beyond 43%, some 45. It depends. It varies from bank to bank, right? You have to ask your lender directly. So
So
essentially,
for our
go
new
ahead.
folks, what's that DTI? What does that mean for our new
Your
folks?
debt to income ratio.
Okay.
So essentially, in order for you to qualify, they do not want the your debt to be more than a certain amount of your income, your gross income, right? Because we
Yeah.
always use gross income. We don't use net, right? So this is how we figure it today, because most people's loans right now are in some sort of deferment or forbearance, right? Or
Yeah.
even on an income-based repayment plan, right?
Yeah.
Those have fallen behind. That's not my uh, forte. That's not my expertise. That's something you'd have to speak to someone that's more savvy with how to get that kind of stuff fixed, right? People that are falling behind on their payments. This is more for
Okay.
people, again, forbearance, that are on income based repayment plans,
Okay.
or that kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
So if you said to me, Joe, I got $63,000 in student loans, how would that affect me? So for an FHA loan, we only use 0.5% of the existing balance, right? Now I know from what I've read, um, most of these forbearance accounts will start to they're going to start sending those letters out, and they're going to be asking for the payments come January, February, March, something like that. I think they're working with the servicers or something like that to
Okay.
figure out when those payments are going to start.
Yeah.
Uh, when you're going to have to start making those payments, right? So we take $40,000, and then let me see if I get this on the screen. There we go. So we're going to actually multiply that by 0.5%. Give me a second here. $40,000 times 0.5%. So this is actually how much we will use towards your debt to income ratio. So a lot of people have that misconception. Oh, I'm never going to get approved for my house. I owe $63,000. As you can see, that's actually not the case. We don't use the total amount. This is, again, today. If you're showing zero balance, let me be clear about that. Let me go back. If when we run the credit report, right, when I pull your credit and I see these balances come up and I see a zero payment, this is what the guideline says we would do in order to get a payment in that box. Make sense? 0.5%. For conventional, it's a different number. I can go over that with you guys directly. We're just using FHA for today.
Okay. So
All right.
go over that one more time. So we're in the forbearance,
I'm in a forbearance.
and you
I've run your
see on
credit.
the credit report
Right.
these balances
Are zero.
are zero. Right.
They're not behind. They're not, you don't know no missed payments and stuff like that. These are for clients that have zero in when it shows what the just like for your credit card debt in your car loan.
Yep.
What is that monthly minimum payment?
Yeah.
Zero. This is the calculation that we use per guidelines for an FHA loan again.
Okay. So for FHA, you're automatically doing, what was that? 0.5%?
0.5%. So we're gonna do the math one more time for the second box, right? We'll take 0.5. Oh, I messed it up again. We'll take $20,000, and then we're gonna multiply. Oh, keep getting it wrong. $20,000. We're gonna multiply that by 0.5% equals $100.
Uh-huh.
So as you can see, this is how much your liabilities that's gonna go towards your debt to income ratio.
Wow.
All right. So again, it's not the total amount. It's just that small fraction. And this guideline actually got updated earlier in the summer. They used to actually use a full percent. So this number would actually be double. So
Wow.
we would already be at $600. So for the small, what would you say, the small emergency relief fund or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
That amount towards that ratio is only going to be $15.
Wow. And when did these guidelines go into effect with this calculation?
The new guideline with the 0.5%, it was either May or June, around
Okay.
that time.
Okay.
Second quarter, around
Okay.
second quarter is when they updated the guidelines. Again, it used to be a full percent.
Okay.
Um, so government, they want people to own houses,
Yeah.
and they're always making updates to the guidelines, so it makes it easier for people. All right.
Okay.
So what we do, we take that number and then we go back to my friendly calculator here, and now we have something to enter in the obligations because the total debt was $1,100.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So with that annual income at that interest rate, with that amount of a down payment, with that much of your monthly obligations, and we're trying not to go past 48%, right? Just to keep it conservative. That amount of property taxes, that amount of homeowners insurance,
Now,
is just
Joe,
too much.
I don't mean to be the dead horse, but we
Go
have
ahead.
some newcomers. When you say 48% for that debt to income tolerance, what does that 48%
They're
mean?
taking um, what your monthly payment is expected to be with these figures, and they're dividing it by the to your actual your debt, and they're saying, and you're basically telling the calculation not to go above 48%, and
Okay.
this is the number that it's giving you. And as you see, if we wanted to be a little bit more conservative, let's say we go to 53%, it actually increases the amount of house that you can actually purchase.
Okay. So are we saying at that 53%, are we saying, let's just use round numbers, for every $100
Okay.
I have I have to pay $47 towards my debts. Is
They
that what?
don't want it to go past that $47.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That's what we're saying.
All right.
That's what
Yeah.
we're saying. But this is the important part, John, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So, and I don't want to offend anyone, anything like that. You know what I mean? What's more important, that $600 Acura, or buying a house, for your future, for your family, um, not living in someone else's um, investment property and making them richer, or buying something for yourself and not just making yourself richer, right? Um, but investing again in yourself and your family. Let's say we got rid of that Acura, right? You
Yeah.
decided you went. What's that website where you can actually go out and sell your car, or someone can take over your lease payments? Like, we wanted it's removed, and you're doing it the legal way, right?
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
say we got rid of that Acura and we kept everything else the same that we did earlier. As
Uh-huh.
you can see, you've now jumped up to $405,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Even better, Joe.
compared to where
Put
we
it,
were before.
put it to 1,100, right? They
It's a
want to get that $600 payment each month for that Acura or that Beamer. Let's say they went and got that Honda.
hmm
Instead of 600, it's 300. So let's knock 300 off that 1,100.
we're at
So
355
we just gained $50,000 in buying power.
with only a $300 difference.
$300 difference.
Why? Because it's not a loan over a 5 to 7 year period. It's a loan that's being extended over 30 years. That's amortizing.
Yep.
That's amortizing. So it's lowering the debt after a certain amount. That's a whole nother video. But after a certain point, you're actually usually within the first 5 years, you're making more payment towards the interest.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you make your payment, I don't know the exact figure, but the majority of the time, it's going to be 60-70% of your 300,000, your 3,000 mortgage dollar mortgage payment is most of it is going towards interest. But after 5-6 years, it starts to reverse itself and starts going towards principal and interest.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see just a $300 difference,
Yep. Yep.
and
Buying power.
that's what we're looking at here. That's so as you can see now. So let's actually, you know what? Let's go back to the calculator. Now, Biden has reduced this. We'll keep everything the same, right? We'll just make up a scenario, right?
Yep.
Let's say come January, Biden the numbers don't look good, right? They're doing those studies, and they say that he's far behind whoever the Republican or new Democratic candidate may be, right?
Sure, sure.
He goes, you know what? We're going to extend the forbearance again after we said we're never going to extend it ever again. This is the last chance, right? So we're
Mm-hmm.
going to take that 20,000, right? He's giving you that credit,
Uh-huh.
all right? So we're going to use now the new figure, $10,000 times 0.5%. Now it's only $50, right? We could have did that easy, but I just wanted to do the math for those that didn't see it originally. So now the liability is actually $1,065. So we go back here. $5,000 difference. So this is what I wanted to point out. It's not making that much of a difference overall.
Okay.
On a long scale, on the big picture, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Yes, it's
Okay.
$10,000 that come January, he hasn't extended the forbearance anymore. Those letters are in the mail, and they're giving you the dates in which you have to start making your payments. Yes, that is very important, especially for those people that are, they're not in the higher echelon one percenters. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is very important. But as you can see, it doesn't make that much of a difference because like we said originally, he made that statement, oh, it's going to make everything so much more affordable for people to buy houses. It's not that much of a significance. It's just a small dent.
Okay.
A small little chip in the rock.
See, this is key. What you just pointed out is key because we definitely have some folks sitting out there saying, all right, well, once I get this $10,000 forgiven, and let's say they have a mountain of debt similar to this example, doesn't do anything. What does do something is looking at these cars you bought, your expenses, looking at your monthly expenses, because we've seen what a $300 reduction in your monthly liabilities does as far as your buying power. It goes much further than relying on this forbearance. Now, here's another question. Well, I guess it's probably pretty much the same thing. If someone had a student loan, and let's say it was $10,000 or less, okay,
Okay.
and they get this $10,000 forgiveness, and now it's wiped off, it's paid off. How does that impact their credit?
That is more of a credit specialist.
Okay.
Um, but it doesn't really affect, to be honest with you, for the numbers that I've seen before, it doesn't really affect the credit by much.
Okay.
As long as they're not behind, because I've seen quite a few, you'd be surprised. I still see people that I'm running their credit, and they have missed payments. I'm like, why do you have any missed payments? Everyone else is in forbearance. It's all about, putting, you know, putting the important things first. And it's
Yep.
most likely the case where they didn't go onto the website and put their debt into some sort of forbearance, as everyone else did. I think it's going to affect it more if you're behind on payments in the past,
Okay.
or if you were missing payments and then later on when you realize you saw it on the news and other friends that you went to college or university with will say, oh, why aren't you on a forbearance?
Okay.
So I
So
think it'll affect it more in that manner.
so it's very important for those of us that have student loans to make sure you reach out to these servicers and enroll yourself into a forbearance program versus not paying at all.
Or just
Assuming.
ignoring it, or
You're
just
right.
ignoring it at all altogether. And your credit score is your adult report card.
Yes, sir.
So if you haven't taken care of that, the bank will then say, hey, how much of a risk will this person be
Yep.
for us? And that's something I can discuss when we actually run the credit and go through the credit application with us.
It's awesome. Awesome.
This was good, informative,
This was good. This was
awesome.
good. And if you guys that are watching this, if you think this was helpful, give us a like, comments, send us a message, give us a call, send us a text. Let us know. Is this
Absolutely.
something similar to what you're going through? And how can we help you kind of get back on track? You know?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And if
Joe,
you guys haven't noticed, we're going to be putting these videos up every Monday.
every Monday.
Time can vary. Things come up, client meetings come up. I even work at later hours. John knows. But we're going to try our best to put these videos up every Monday with some new information. Next week is Labor Day, so we'll be on hiatus. But we will be back the week after that on our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, that's it.
John,
You
how
got
can
to
they?
see the hashtags. You can find
Absolutely.
us anywhere and everywhere using the hashtags. My email, john@johnjohnson3.com. You could call me at 908-338-0639. Joe, how they get you, man?
Again, Joe Does Mortgages on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I can on YouTube as well. I could be contacted at 908-669-9091. That's the hotline. DM me if you want to set up a consultation. If you're not ready right now, I love helping people to set up to help meet their goals. I have a credit specialist person that can help with budgeting. That's actually going to be someone I'm going to have on for tomorrow's video. But again, 908-669-9091. That's the hotline.
Joe, appreciate you, man. And thank you all for watching.
All right, John, have a good night.
You too. Have a good night, all.
Good night, everybody.